folks, and welcome back to another Pinal Prep Spotlight brought to you by Jones Ford Buick GMC, your hometown dealer for more than 50 years. Well, as you can see, once again, we like to keep things interesting here at Pinal Central, and we like to keep you guys on your toes. So this week, David is back with me, and just jumping right into things, our game of the week is a Friday night game. It is Combs traveling here to Vista Grande for the girls basketball for a Black Canyon game. David, what are you expecting from this game?
First of all, it feels like a little bit of a deja vu that I'm back here again, but hopefully we'll be here for longer. So, Combs and Vista Grande is just be a really fun matchup. I mean, when you're talking about girls basketball in Pinal County, though, the first name you have to talk about is Jayla Scott from Vista Grande. She's probably the best basketball talent that Pinal County has to offer. She leads the Spartans in points, rebounds, points at 20.2 and rebounds 12.1. It's averaging 4.4 blocks per game, and that is huge production on the defensive side of the court. The question for the Spartans has always been, can they get help around Jayla Scott? Can they find somebody to kind of pair her with? And I think they found that in Emily Shedd. Emily Shedd's a great guard. She's a very good scorer, averages about 14 points per game. And when I spoke to head coach Ryan Barrett a while ago, he told me that this is only Emily's second year with the team, and she's never played basketball with a team anywhere before. So even that by itself is a huge accomplishment and a huge just ability of what Emily can do. So they're kind of the 1-2 punch for this Vista Grande team, and just within that self, Emily being a great scorer and only her second year with the team, and Jayla Scott being Jayla Scott is just what leads this team so much. And then Combs, on the other hand, they're a pretty steady team as well. They're about 10-8 with their record right now, and Acacia Melvin is without a doubt their best leader and their scorer as well. 13.7 points, 7.7 rebounds. She does it all for them, and this should be a really exciting matchup. Like I said, these guys are 2-3 when it comes to the Black Canyon standing, so a lot to upper grabs when it comes to possible playoff points here. So these guys are going to go at it, and I like the talent that both these teams have, but I would say the Vista Grande may just be a little bit better talent-wise, and that's why I would give them the edge in this matchup.
All right, David mentioned playoffs. This is a very critical game for Combs. Starting off this week with the AIA rankings, they are currently at number 24. Top 24 teams make it. 9 through 24, they play in the play-in tournament, and then the reseeding happens for the actual state tournament. Right now, this Combs is right there on that bubble. David mentioned it, Vista Grande is second in the Black Canyon standings, and back during their first matchup between these two teams on January 17th, Combs came away with the 37-29 win. Also have to point out that for Vista Grande, this Combs game will be their third game this week. So it's going to be interesting to see how much they have left in the tank for this late night game. And as David mentioned it, everything starts with Jayla Scott. If teams lock her up, who else can step up? A couple weeks ago, Emily Shedd, David mentioned her, she was kind of having some struggles trying to get the ball to go through the hoop, and Vista Grande didn't really have an answer for who could back up Jayla Scott. So if that's the case again, somebody really needs to step up for the Spartans. And for Combs, I think it's Kylie Bush. She has provided a lot of help taking the pressure off of Melvin inside the paint. And senior Amy Hansen, she does a fantastic job of directing things on the court. And then I have to mention, first-year coach in Brandon Montoya. Last year, Combs was a fantastic defensive team under Mandy Webster. However, it's a little different look this year under Montoya, but as I mentioned, currently number 24, he's done something right with this Combs team and keeping them within playoff contention. David, is there anything else you want to add?
I think you said it perfectly, how these two teams are going to clash, and it really comes down to the main scorers of this team and see how they interact with one another. And these teams know each other very, very well. They're region rivals, so they know how each one of them goes and how one of them scores and plays. So it's going to be a really exciting one. I think it might be one of the best basketball games we see in this season so far.
All right, now transitioning to our other portion of the show. David, what do you got your eye on this week?
I got some girls soccer going on. I got Maricopa taking on Rincon out of Tucson. So Maricopa Soccer has put together a pretty decent season so far with a record of 7 wins, 4 losses, and 2 ties. And the Rams have very good talent, and McKinley Hacker is at the top with 11 goals scored on this season and 5 assists. So she can both get it done scoring-wise, but she can also get it done and set up for her teammates as well. So that's a really good aspect of her game. But not only is McKinley Hacker really good taking care of business on the soccer pitch, she also takes care of it on the gridiron. She was the Rams kicker this last football season, so she's just an incredible talent, and that is amazing to see. So, she can take over any game that she's in, but Rincon is going to be a huge, tough challenge for this team. Rincon comes in at 7-2, and they're going to come in with a lot of momentum. So it will be interesting to see how Hacker can kind of go about this, and how the Rincon will possibly try and limit Hacker's potential in the game. So if she can, like I said, she can take over a game at any time, but if the Rangers can shut her down, I don't know who else is going to be able to come up with the scoring. So I would give Rincon the edge in this one, but it should still be really interesting to watch how the Rams continue to progress in this soccer season.
All right, and now just to keep things briefly with soccer, I do have to point out that the 3A play-in tournament is going to be happening Thursday, and as these rankings show right now, we might have 3 teams, could dwindle down a little bit. ALA Ironwood Boys is currently ranked at number 20. ALA Ironwood Girls is at number 22, and Coolidge Girls is at number 24. That Coolidge Girls team is something we have to keep an eye out on. They have one more game left on Tuesday. If they lose it, that could bump them out of the top 24 spot. But for my what to watch and keep your eye on this week, it is the girls wrestling sectionals. That is happening Saturday all over the state. But I have to point out Section 5, which pretty much has the biggest chunk of our local teams. There are 7 teams, and one team we really have to watch is Post and Butte. So far this season, let's see, 5 Post and Butte girls, they only have single-digit losses, and among them is freshman Miranda Alvarado at the 235 pounds. She is 13-3. Another girl really impressive is Alex Gaitan, 132 pounds, 23-6. Girls wrestling, they just started off very recently and having their own separate state tournament, and I think Post and Butte is a really big threat here to not just come out with some individual state champions, but also, being a top contender for that team championship. David, is there anything else you want to add overall?
Just look out for all your local sports. Like you said, we got wrestling coming up, so that's going to be really fun. Soccer tournaments or soccer championships coming up soon, so look out for a Pinal County team, see who makes it in the playoffs. And also, basketball championship and tournaments are coming up too as well, so be on the lookout for those and support your local teams.
All right, and that pretty much does it for Pinal Prep Spotlight. Be sure to check in next week to what we have for our breakdown.